They're untraceable, accessible, and involved in thousands of violent crimes. But unlike conventional guns, a ghost gun is made with parts ordered online. They don't come with a serial number, so it makes it impossible to figure out who owns them. That's why they're called ghost guns. But here in Tarpon Springs, detectives were able to figure out how a convicted felon purchased and built his own ghost gun. In this multi-part investigation, we discover he's not the only felon that's made the purchase online after being banned in-store from purchasing guns. The latest federal data shows the state of Florida ranks 5th in the country for ghost guns recovered at crime scenes. The Supreme Court ruled that some of the parts used to make ghost guns can be regulated. The latest federal data shows in 2023, more than 2,000 kids under 17 were found with ghost guns. We've found children have gone online, purchased these kits themselves, and used the ghost guns in crimes all across the country, including murder.
Yet another school shooting. This time, it happened in California.
15-year-old Gracie Muehlberger was one of the students killed on that November day. A day.
Yeah.
Her dad, Brian, remembers in vivid detail.
At some point, a doctor comes in, a surgeon, and he sits across from me as close as I am to you, maybe closer. These rooms are really small. And he gives you that blank stare, saying, yeah, and I'm just literally looking at him and I'm like, just don't tell me, don't say this, I'm like, I don't want to hear this, and he's just as cold could be, probably trying to keep his own emotions in. I've spoken to him since. He's given me a lot of the details of that morning, because it was really hard on him as well. And then he just tells me, we worked on your daughter for an hour and a half and we did everything we could and she didn't make it. The only way I can describe what happened at that point in my body was I wept and I wailed and I cried. I just fell to the ground. It was just like a visceral pain coming out of my body.
But this investigation isn't about another school shooting.
It'll be 6 years this year.
It's about what Brian learned after his daughter's death.
So, within a very short period of time after the shooting, we heard that the firearm used was what's called a ghost gun, kind of a slang term for a kit gun that you can buy and build. And never heard the term before.
A gun kit the shooter could have easily ordered himself at just 16 years old.
It's truly kits that are made and sold online or in stores or at gun shows that are highly accessible.
Our investigation has uncovered kids have purchased gun kits online. How many? Well, the latest data from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, otherwise known as ATF, shows from 2022 to 2023, more than 2,300 juveniles under the age of 17 were found with a ghost gun. Digging through court documents and lawsuits, we found ghost guns have been involved in the deaths of kids from Minnesota to Georgia to Florida. It happened in Fort Myers and also Vero Beach, where teens were handling a ghost gun in a boy's bedroom.
Apparently he had put together over a period of a year. His mother knew about that. She wasn't aware that he had ammunition. He clearly had ammunition and gotten that at some time.
And he's how old?
He was 14 to 15 years.
Police Chief David Curry says the young teen purchased the parts himself and put together the gun that ultimately took his life.
A 14-year-old can't go into a gun store and purchase a gun.
Not at all.
But they can go online and purchase the parts to make one themselves.
Correct.
And that's completely legal.
That's legal and it should not be.
To expose just how easy it is for children to purchase these things,
some of the kits look more complex than others.
We met up with mom, Casey Syrie.
Are you over the age of 21?
She agreed to go online and purchase.
So it's in my cart.
Part of a gun.
There's my order summary.
In her 14-year-old son's name. She says there was no background check, just an age verification. She checked yes that her teenage son was over 21 and purchased.
80% lower for an AR-15.
We tracked the package and within just a few days it arrived at her front door.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
So a part, and you saw how easily it would have been to order the entire thing.
Oh, yeah. We
On that
definitely
site.
received follow-up emails encouraging us to purchase more.
We returned the part to the company. Brian also knows how easy it is to purchase because he did the same thing after his daughter Gracie's death in her name.
It was just like, all you need to do is buy the whole kit and it'll come to you and you can build it. I thought, great. For $700, let's do it. So go to checkout, add to cart, checkout. Are you over 18? Are you legally able to own guns? Check mark, yes, yes. Submit, checkout. Next thing you know, it's coming to me. The last minute before I hit checkout, I made sure that who it was being sent to was my daughter. So this is 4 months after she had been killed, and put her name on the order form, and then went back and finished the checkout process. So I officially lied by clicking that checkbox, but that's how easy it is. It's why he filed this lawsuit against the ATF to regulate gun kits, specifically the 80% receiver and frames that allows you to make a gun at home. There has been a back and forth by both the Biden and Trump administrations on how these types of guns should be regulated. But the Supreme Court ruled earlier this year that certain unfinished frames, receivers, and weapons parts kits are considered firearms and are subject to federal regulations, including requiring serial numbers, background checks, and record keeping for dealers. These photos from the ATF show the difference in what is regulated under the Gun Control Act. Like the piece Casey purchased, this is still not considered a firearm because it's missing holes and dimples for attaching key parts, including the trigger, while this other photo of a receiver has a partially machined fire control cavity, and the ATF says this does meet the definition of a firearm.
Here's an AR-15 rifle kit.
We shopped site after site, putting in kit after kit, and not once did any of the sites tell us there would be a background check, and only asked us to verify our age by clicking a box. It's all we had to do before putting in our credit card information and hitting purchase.
Should kids be allowed to purchase kits online and put together their own guns?
Right. Clearly, no. I believe clearly no. And like I said, there's a lot of hobbies out there for adults and young people. But with regard to adults as a hobby, like you said, that may be one thing. Building guns, putting puzzles together, what have you. But for a juvenile to build a gun and to be able to order the parts online, to me is totally unjust.
Do you think it's a loophole that's just been overlooked?
Absolutely, absolutely.
In a perfect world, we'd find a way together to do it. And, I would love to ask every one of these folks how they would feel if they lost their child. So it's easy to be on the one side until you're on the other side, until you're sitting in my shoes. I probably would have said the same thing naively. You don't have the rights to take my guns away. But then put yourself on my side and go, but if there's a better way and my child can still be here and protected and a 16-year-old kid can't get a gun.
A type of gun used on that November day.
We've got an active shooter at Saugus High School. We need all units to respond.
For just 8 seconds.
You never know when your 8 seconds is going to come. My 8 seconds was that 8 seconds where that kid stood there and fired his gun, killing 2 kids and wounding 3 others. And 8 seconds is so quick, and your life can be flipped upside down in that 8 seconds. And just know that the only thing you can do is live in the moment, enjoy the experiences, enjoy the time with your kids. And I hope it never happens to anyone, but it will happen to others. And that I just pray that whenever that time comes in someone's life, that they feel like they've done enough, and they don't have any regrets. We don't have any.
Now, some states do ban ghost guns altogether, though Florida is not one of them. A Florida congressman says ghost gun parts are too accessible. We'll show you some of the proposed solutions still ahead. But first, more on the case that started this entire investigation. A convicted felon arrested after trying to shoot his own mother with a ghost gun he purchased the parts for and put together himself. We've uncovered that he's not the only one that's been banned from buying guns in store and going online and purchasing them instead. Here's part 2 of Untraceable and Accessible.
So this is my brother's motor helmet.
It was a lifelong dream
This is special to me because this is actually his first helmet that he received.
for Andre Moyer Jr.
He's truly quite the man.
to patrol the streets he always called home.
This was his dream job. He finally got it.
Now it's his photo that is placed along those streets
Always watching over you, especially the family.
where Moyer died trying to protect the community. On August 12, 2019, two-year Highway Patrol Officer Andre Moyer made a routine traffic stop along a California freeway. When officers were updated by police radio that multiple officers were down, struck by gunfire, one of them, Andre Moyer.
I was on my way home from work and I stopped at Home Depot to pick up some stuff. And at that time I got a call from my wife and hysterical, our daughter-in-law called her and said that, Andre is in the hospital. We need to get over there now. So I was only about a mile from home and raced over to the house, picked up my wife, and we're racing down the freeway. When I pulled up, officers approached us and I told them who we were. And, they took my wife and then they escorted me also. And the hard part was that we weren't heading towards a hospital. We're heading towards one of the portables that are outside. And I knew that it was going to be bad. And of course, walking in that door and seeing my wife, my daughter-in-law, everybody in there, just a chaos, crying, screaming. Of course, he already passed. Very difficult.
It's something that still stings. Even talking about it now, it's been 6 years. His 6-year anniversary just passed. And we still have a hard time collecting ourselves. So it's definitely not going to get any easier, but you learn to live with it. You learn to live with it, and because we have our faith in Jesus Christ, we know where he's at now, and we find a lot of comfort in that.
The man responsible, Aaron Luther, was killed in a shootout with police. He was a convicted felon with an extensive criminal history, including a 12-year prison sentence for second-degree murder and burglary. Police say Luther used this assault rifle made from parts ordered online.
They are just as lethal as regular firearms, and you can purchase anything from one-shot firearms up to essentially an AK-47 kit.
A ghost gun is put together from parts in a kit. There's no serial number, often making them untraceable and impossible for police to figure out exactly where they came from.
Between 2016 and 2020, the appearance of ghost guns, or the seizure of ghost guns at crime scenes, rose almost 400%. Around 70,000 ghost guns were seized at crime scenes during that time period. So their presence is only increasing.
Since the kits are not actual guns, there was no background check or verification of who was making the online purchase. That means although Luther was a convicted felon and would have been banned from buying a gun in a store, nothing was stopping him from purchasing the ghost gun parts online.
The only limitation is being able to buy something on the internet and having a credit card to pay it with. So it's just as easy as buying anything else.
We explained this to Officer Moyer's family, who are huge supporters of the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms.
Do you think when it comes to purchasing these ghost gun kits online, there should be something that would stop somebody like a convicted felon from being able to purchase one online?
Absolutely.
While police have not said if Luther was the one that bought the parts for the rifle that killed the officer, our investigation has uncovered convicted felons have gone online, typed in their name, and used the gun they put together in crimes across the country.
He left the gun there?
I'm thinking he did play around in a double fed. So he was out here, went back inside, ditched the rifle, and then got in the car and left.
In Tarpon Springs, Florida.
Previous charges for
he's a sex offender, gang member, one of those.
Yeah, Yeah, prison gang member.
Police found this rifle in James Sachowski's bedroom.
But that wasn't your typical rifle.
It was not your typical rifle.
What kind of rifle was it?
That rifle was a rifle that he ordered parts for online and built it himself.
This receipt showing he purchased an 80% lower receiver and AR-15 jig kit.
Anybody can do it. They're not doing background checks because the man that had this gun, he was a convicted felon, wasn't he?
That's correct. Mr. Sachowski is a convicted felon in the federal court system. And to my knowledge, there were no background checks completed when he bought this lower receiver.
Detective John Melton says when it comes to the parts ordered online, no one is breaking the law because technically the items are not considered a firearm, and the 80% lower receiver wasn't a completed firearm when delivered to Sachowski's door.
I am sure that we will continue to see ghost guns used in crimes.
There's nothing stopping it.
No, ma'am.
It's tricky to figure out how often a felon is buying or in possession of a ghost gun because there just really isn't good data out there. We reached out to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement months ago to see if they track ghost gun cases, and they still haven't gotten back to us with an answer. We did reach out to local law enforcement agencies to see if they track it. Only a few told us they do. So we started tracking it ourselves.
Where am I being taken?
We found 38-year-old Carlos Urena of Tallahassee.
Right now you're under arrest for possession of a firearm by convicted felon.
Now serving an 87-month prison sentence after prosecutors say the convicted felon spent nearly $8,000 purchasing gun parts online and had more than a dozen guns, most of them Urena made himself. Then there are cases out of Georgia, Minnesota, Michigan, Maryland, and California. The man seen in this surveillance video ambushing two sheriff's deputies. Both deputies survived and filed this lawsuit against one of the largest manufacturers of ghost guns, alleging the company creates a market that unreasonably, directly, and indirectly put untraceable, no background check guns in the hands of people with predictable results. The lawsuit filed in a courtroom just an hour down the road from the streets where Andre Moyer's photo stands.
End of watch was August 12th, 2019.
His photo also decorates the walls of his family's home.
He's truly quite the man. He was also my mentor.
His brother works at a gun range.
And so you do background checks?
Absolutely.
The family, proud gun owners.
So when we evaluate it from a lens of are there certain processes that law-abiding citizens have to go through? Absolutely. Should we create more hoops and boundaries for law-abiding citizens to make it harder for them to protect themselves against evil people like that? Absolutely not.
But even so, they believe someone like Aaron Luther should never have been able to buy or even make a weapon like the one used along these streets.
I don't think felons should receive weapons. I think they gave up their right to have weapons.
Now, the ATF put a new rule in place in 2022 that would require background checks for certain parts of a ghost gun kit. When we went online, we found plenty of kits, parts, and how-to guides with what you need to build your own gun. When we attempted to buy the items, there was no prompt for a background check. It just asked for our payment information and to check a box that we were complying with the law. It's why some say ghost guns are still getting into the wrong hands, from convicted felons to children. And it's why a Florida congressman agreed to talk to us in hopes to close what he calls a deadly loophole. These are photos and videos of children killed by ghost guns. In all the cases, police say the shooters were also children.
It's truly kits that are made and sold online or in stores or at gun shows that are highly accessible.
Our investigation has uncovered although the ATF rule requires serial numbers and background checks for some kits and parts bought online,
80% lower for an AR-15.
It's not required for all the items available to put a gun together over time.
There's my order summary.
Receivers like this aren't considered firearms under the Gun Control Act, according to the ATF.
He left the gun there?
We also found it's not just children purchasing parts.
Previous charges for...
He's a sex offender, gang member, one of those.
Yeah, prison gang member.
So have convicted felons. People that are banned from buying guns in stores, from convicted felons to kids under the age of 18, are going online and purchasing them and then using these in crimes, using these in murders. Is that something that should be allowed?
No, and it shouldn't be allowed for children. Shouldn't be allowed for people who have convicted felonies. It shouldn't be allowed for anybody. If you purchase something that is a gun, you should go through a background check.
It's why Congressman Maxwell Frost says since parts and even kits with how-to guides are available online, more laws need to be passed. We found bill after bill addressing these concerns. A congresswoman from Hawaii introduced this bill that aims to help law enforcement prevent the spread of ghost guns by developing a system to observe interstate shipments of gun kits and detect individuals who are acquiring gun parts but are not licensed to possess a firearm.
Yeah, they're getting in the wrong hands, and we actually know we have solutions to this stuff.
Months after that bill was filed, a police officer from her home state was shot and killed by a convicted felon. The weapon was a ghost gun.
I just wish as a country we had a little bit more common sense that there could be a balance here, that we can have our firearms, but we can also do it in a sound and safe way that protect us and everyone around us and ensure that the right people have access to them, but the wrong people don't.
And we did reach out to ATF to speak about this issue and the rise of crimes involving ghost guns, and we were told the Justice Department denied the request to speak on this topic. Now, we did include even more data from local law enforcement agencies who are actually tracking these types of crimes and what type of crimes are happening in the community involving a ghost gun. You can find that right now on our free app. With investigative producer Libby Hendren, investigative photojournalist Carter Schumacher, I'm investigative reporter Jennifer Titus. Thanks for watching.